All right, so welcome and welcome everyone. Don't forget, I remain your host, Edward Iberase. But please, whatever we're going to share today, whatever it is we're going to share today, do not put your entire fortune into it. I repeat, do not put your entire fortune into it. $100, $200, $300 is just okay. All right. So let's have Mr. Duque next. The floor is yours. Please take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Eddie, for putting this very timely meeting. It's like I saw in the posts, it could probably be the best 1 hour that most people on this call might have in crypto, or probably the best 1 hour they must have had in the last maybe 1 or 2 months or 6 months or 1 year. I don't know how long they've been in crypto. So I have my partner here, Gavin Victor, who is going to take us through one of the smartest way to catching on the wealth that crypto has. Again, I was on a call with one of my friends he lives in Dublin. No, in Dublin actually. Okay, this is a guy who, by the way, I'm going to bring him on this call in a couple of weeks. Okay, from today, and I mean, these guys they're making some really good progress when it comes to crypto, and when I took a closer look, I'm looking at myself, looking at them, looking at all of those kind of people. There's something that's very common about people who have made a lot of progress with crypto. They had one strategy, and that strategy is what I want to show you. And I remember him telling me something. He said, "Joke, the truth about it is this: if you spend 2 to 3 years in crypto and you're not yet a dollar millionaire, there's really something wrong. Like probably you're not aware of the strategy, and if you're aware of the strategy, maybe you're not intentional about it." Okay, and what is the strategy? I'll tell you with a simple story. The first time I bought Ethereum, I bought over 10,000 units of Ethereum for almost nothing. Okay, and I remember it did like 3x, like tripled, and I sold. When Ethereum was like, I don't know. Now imagine if I had those 10,000 units of Ethereum today. Ethereum's it's like on $1,900 today. So that means that portfolio would have been worth $19 million or thereabout. Now, how about XRP? First time I bought XRP, I bought a lot of XRP. Then XRP had about 6 zeros, 0.000000. That kind of stuff. Even it was more than 6, if I'm not forgetting. Now, then you could buy 10,000, 100,000 of XRP, which is Ripple, for almost nothing. And all we needed to do was just hold it and, and just take a walk and look at something else. But for most people, they sold. Why? Because they never had a meeting like that, like this, that was able to point them to a strategy and also to calibrate their mindset towards how you win in this industry and how you accumulate true wealth in this industry. In 2009, or say 2010, even Bitcoin was given out for free to people. I mean, we all know about the story of someone who bought a pizza for 10,000 units of Bitcoin. When Bitcoin got to all-time high of 65,000, you put that in perspective, that's $650 million. Okay, that's what he spent 10 years ago to buy pizza. So the thing here is that the strategy is very simple. The strategy is long-term. Picking on some very good projects. And I'm not talking about pump and dumps here. I'm talking about projects that has really very strong potential. Remember, in business, just like in crypto, nothing is guaranteed. But we can use history, all right, to guide our decision on how we manage risk. I tell people that risk is unavoidable. You only need knowledge to manage it. Some of these projects, Stellar Lumens, Tron, list them. So many of them. We watched them when they were nothing, as airdrops in some cases. And most people were just looking at the Bitcoin that was $20,000, that was $11,000. I remember John Scully. He's the guy. His quote is one of the things that helped me in business and in life. He said something, and I repeat, or I quote. He said, "The future belongs to those who see opportunity before it's obvious." So what that simply means is that when it's obvious, once, even when my grandma when my grandma started talking about an opportunity, I think we hit the ceiling. In 2017, when people were thinking that Bitcoin did some kind of amazing, jump, the other sisters of Bitcoin, like the Ethereum, were doing way more percentage. And who were the people who got it, who got the most of it? Were people who put a tiny amount, $100, $200, $500, $1,000, $10,000. It all depends on your capacity. The one thing I've found that is certain is that if you have a hold of this strategy, as little as $50 to $100 is enough for you in 2 to 3 years time to have a very mind-blowing testimony if things all go right. In December 3rd, 2019, all right, my friend who's my partner, Gavin Victor, he said a joke, actually in November, he said it's a project I need us to look at, and that's HEX. Now, then it's meant nothing. It was zero. But now, those who care to listen today, guys, it's a different story entirely. So I'm going to bring in Gavin to just tell us a little story about HEX, his experience with it, okay? His understanding about this strategy. And by the way, guys, people have not really met Gavin when it comes to, investing and, making smart decisions. Gavin is arguably one of the smartest people I know when it comes to studying and picking opportunities. And I will spend time to analyze things logically. And he's a guy that makes decisions based on facts and not hypes. And I went, and it was a good run. And now he told me 3 months ago, a joke, there's something you need to look at again. And I'm saying, what's that? They said, PulseChain. I'm like, I was like, Gavin, this time around, we must tell more people about it. So what do we do? We first and foremost call the leaders, expose them to this. And the leaders was like, hey, you know what? We need to tell this to the entire community. Because when we were setting up tonoit, we had something in mind. We want people to have, when it comes to their finances, through tonoit. And we're living to that promise today. And today is one of those calls that will position you probably for that life-changing opportunity. So thank you very much, Gavin, for joining. And let's go with HEX. Tell us the story. What's going on? I know it's pretty late where you are. I want to get that energy. Hi, Gavin.
Hi there, Jackie. How are you, my friend? Good evening,
Awesome.
everybody. Nice
Thank
to be
you.
on the call with
Welcome,
all of
Gavin.
you. It's always great to be here. Thanks, Edward. Nice to chat to you guys. Yes, Friday evening, I think we had Saturday evening, we had a webinar with some of your leaders, and tonight I see we're getting a bigger part of the community on board here to basically just listen to what I have to say. The first thing I need to tell you people is the best strategy to have when dealing in cryptocurrency and trying to create long-term wealth for you is to not expose yourself to everything in trading. Pick a few good projects and make sure those projects are about 90% of your portfolio. Only trade with 10%. 10% in trading and you make a good couple of percent every single month will pay bills. It will do things like that. It will enable you to do things. What I'm going to tell you tonight can and most probably would change your life. I came across this project called HEX during the late part of 2019, and it was totally by chance. I was going through YouTube and looking at YouTubers, and I found this gentleman by the name of Richard Hart. Now, Richard Hart is a very interesting kind of individual. He says things like they are. He doesn't hold back when he says things. And this makes him the kind of person that a lot of people do not like. And when I first, listened to him, I thought, geez, what an arrogant person, very brash, not totally respectful all the times, but everything he spoke had so much common sense, brought into it. And he came up with the idea of HEX, and the reason why he brought HEX out as an altcoin was he thought it would be better than Bitcoin. I mean, his entire use case that he had was that Bitcoin was not serving the people like it should have. It was supposed to be a peer-to-peer currency. It was very difficult to send, expensive, slow, everything. And it was doing none of that. All it basically became was like a piece of gold that you stuck in your cupboard and you forgot about it. It was hard to work with. And although it had massive gains, the chance of the man in the street ever making huge gains out of Bitcoin had come to an end. So he designed a cryptocurrency that he says is better. I've experienced it for the last 19 months. I say it's better. I say it's the best cryptocurrency there is. The performance of HEX over the last 19 months has been extraordinary. It has outperformed Bitcoin, if I'm not mistaken now, by something like 750x. It has outperformed Ethereum by 200x. We're not talking percentages now. We're talking in amount. So, for example, if you bought one Bitcoin's worth of HEX at its lowest price just after it launched, one Bitcoin of that day would be worth 750 Bitcoin today. That is how this coin has appreciated. It has moved from being a very, very small cap in the beginning to being number 3 in coin ranking. If you can see on nomics.com over here, you got Bitcoin, it's the highest market cap. Then you got Ethereum, and then you got HEX. Now, the reason why I say nomics, okay, and not coinmarketcap.com. CoinMarketCap is owned by Binance, and they gatekeep coins. On this site over here called nomics.com, there's no gatekeeping. And as you can see on Nomics, HEX is number 3 on the chart. It overtook, I think, Binance Coin about 3 or 4 weeks ago. It went past Tether about 2 weeks ago. And as you can see, it is now basically just less than half of Ethereum's value. So, for example, if HEX had to just about double in price, let's say now HEX went to 40 cents from where it is now. it will have a higher market cap than Ethereum. And it is well on course to try and claim that second spot. And it's not far away from it. But now, how did my HEX journey start? I mean, I listened to this gentleman and things like that. And, you know, I heard this whole thing, oh, you got to, like, you know, there's something called an adoption amplifier where you will send Ethereum to, and for that Ethereum, you get a whole lot of HEX and stuff like that. And I think, you know, and they're also giving a whole lot of HEX to Bitcoin holders. All you had to do was a shot of your wallet. If you own the private keys to it, you couldn't do it from an exchange. And they would give you a certain amount of HEX for free. So I did that. And I actually had a conversation with Richard Hart. I sent you a message on Telegram because HEX had a nice Telegram group over there. And I thought, you know, I'm going to personal message this guy. He probably won't answer me. He ended up answering me. And then I dialed him and we actually had a conversation. And he said to me, look, whatever you do, don't FOMO in on the first few days. He said, do your whole sacrifice, your purchase through the adoption amplifier, do it over a period of a month. He says, do a little bit every day and you will make a ton of money. Well, I didn't listen, you know, because I thought I'm clever and I FOMO'd in on, I think on the first day and the second day, and that was me. And I was done with HEX. And I watched the next few weeks because HEX only came onto one of the very small exchanges. And I just saw, you know, the $13,000, which was about just less than 100 Ethereum that I sent to the adoption amplifier, was just going down to nothing. It was down to about 2,000, 3,000. I thought, oh, well, you know, I've basically lost my money. This is one big lot of nonsense, this. And, you know, this is what you get for trying to get into these projects that are just getting off the ground. And because I was in the position where I couldn't sell those coins because I had them all staked, I had to sit with it, and I sat with it for a year. And I never really took much notice of HEX for the first few months. And then all of a sudden one day I said, geez, let me go check on the price. I said, wait, cheapers, I'm in profit now, you know, like I think my value was up to about $16,000, $17,000, and the next thing it doubled from there, and then it doubled from there again, and the HEX was moving. And it moved quite nicely until November of 2020, and I had all my coins staked until, I think you had to do with all the coins you got for free, something like 350 days minimum stake. So I was getting that stake out, and I got it out, and I think HEX was just over a cent. I mean, I think it was in this period, if I look back at the chart here, if we go back to say November, it was around here. And I think I got, and what they had was they had this thing called the big payday coming out, where every free coin they were basically airdropping to Bitcoin holders that wasn't claimed. Everybody who had active stakes would actually, all those coins would be shared proportionately amongst everybody, and you'd get it paid as interest. So I think originally my original stake had about, I think it was 24 million HEX or something, and then with all the interest and the payday and everything, I think I got out about 37 million. So I was very chuffed, and I thought, okay, well, I'm going to just sell half, because now, boom, I'm going to make a fat profit. And I think I sold out about, I think it was more than half. It was just over 20 million HEX I sold at just over a cent. And I thought, well, whatever happens with HEX in the future, I don't really care. Now, if you have a look at what HEX has done since that day, it's actually crazy how it has carried on performing. And if you look at the price chart here, it's a very interesting price chart, because every single low is higher than the previous low. I mean, if you see all the way along here, you'll see big dips along the way and big rise. This is also done in log format. Okay, so it flattens out the chart slightly. But you can see that if you compare this chart to any other chart in cryptocurrency, you will see that this is the most beautiful chart of the lot. And I don't think anybody can dispute that. If you look here, you've got higher lows all the time, higher highs all the time. Just keeps happening. It looks like it's running in one big channel on an upward curve the whole time. And this is just the way it performs. Now, I don't want to get into too much technical details with you guys and you ladies here tonight. I prefer you all to visit the site called hex.com and go to the site and investigate it yourself. Go to these pages over here and read some of the testimony, read what's going on here, read what's happening on these links. Go to the trade, go to the video instruction. The video instructions will tell you exactly how to buy HEX, how to set up a wallet, how to do all that. And it will show you how to stake as well. So, and it'll tell you exactly how HEX, the coin, works and operates. It is basically the same as what you guys get in banks called a fixed deposit. Sorry, you see, Jack?
Yeah, I think they need to also know about one of the reasons why HEX has a stronger potential of going up than most of the crypto out there, and that's the concept of staking. Now, guys, I need you to realize something. Let's look at Bitcoin, for example. The only reason why people are holding Bitcoin is because they believe that the price of Bitcoin will go up, okay, and that's why they are holding it. Now, think about it this way, right? It means that at some point in time, if I bought my Bitcoin quite really low, I'm going to take profit at some time. So as more people take profit at a particular time, it can affect the price of Bitcoin, okay? But what if Bitcoin was designed the way HEX was designed? And how is HEX being designed now? There's a principle called staking. Staking simply means that if you have HEX and you decide to lock it for a period, it's like banking. You keep your bank, you put it in a savings, okay? You're gonna make maybe little to nothing, but if you put it in a fixed deposit, you get interest on it, okay? Now that's how staking works. So you lock your HEX for say 1 year or 2 years. For every day your HEX is locked, you get an additional amount of HEX added to your HEX holding. So the amount of HEX you have increases, okay, on a daily basis, for those who stake. So think about it this way: if Bitcoin had that feature, there will be less people wanting to sell their Bitcoin, because holding Bitcoin does not just we're not just going to wait for price to rise. We know that irrespective of what's happening with price today, holding Bitcoin puts me in a position to get additional Bitcoin. So that's why that's something that it's very smart with HEX, and that has been extended to the Pulse network. So over to you, Gavin.
Yeah, the big thing, like Ejak said there now, is the strength with HEX is because so many people lock their money up. But the other thing is HEX is not mined. All the HEX coins came into circulation in the beginning, and the inflation is a lot lower than Bitcoin. You must understand, Bitcoin, there are new Bitcoins minted every single day. So Bitcoin miners, for example, sell the price down because they need to pay for electricity, they need to pay for new equipment, things like that. There's no such thing with HEX. You mint your own HEX, okay, when you stake it. So you doing all the work. The contract is worked by the user, okay? So this is where it's very different to Bitcoin and Ethereum in that way. It is basically sitting at the moment on the ERC, on the Ethereum network. It's the ERC20 token, and it's very easy to buy. The best way to buy it is through MetaMask, and then you can use the various options through there. Like I said, on the page itself, there are instructions on how to do everything. There's a learn more, how to buy, how to stake, everything. I don't think I want to get into that now because it will take too long. The big opportunity here is, and why I'm talking about HEX tonight, is because Richard Hart, the same guy who founded HEX, has founded a new coin, and that coin is called PulseChain. Okay, it's going to be called the Pulse coin. And PulseChain started with a sacrifice phase. I think it was on Friday morning or Thursday morning last week. And for the first 5 days, you get a beneficial bonus out of sacrificing your funds on the first days. And then after that, the sacrifice becomes a little bit more expensive. So there's a big advantage to doing it in the next, like you said, the first rate increase is in 11 hours and 15 minutes. Now, the reason why Pulse is going to be such a great coin is because it's a direct fork of Ethereum, okay? And the idea and the entire plan and the goal of PulseChain is to increase Ethereum's value, because Ethereum's fees will be lowered by sharing its load. Pulse is 4 times faster than Ethereum, okay? The fees on sending Pulse is going to be negligible, probably like 1 cent. Whereas at the moment, the biggest problem with a lot of the projects that are sitting on top of Ethereum is that unless you've got a huge amount of capital, it's been very, very difficult to invest into some of those because of the high gas fees. And this is where PulseChain is going to change that. Now, the reason why I think this is going to be a really, really successful project is because if I look at the person who's launching it, the reason he's launching it, and yeah, you've got a chance to buy something before it has a value. That means you're getting it at 0 value. You're going to sacrifice, let's say, $100, $500, whatever you're going to sacrifice towards PulseChain, and they will be depositing Pulse coins into your wallet, probably in about 4 to 5 weeks' time. And that's where the value will come. And what I want you people to realize now, it's like Jackie said earlier. Imagine those guys who bought Bitcoin at $100 and it went up 10x. So it went to $1,000 and they all sold out and they just watched it keep going up. Don't fall into that trap. Big gains in crypto is made by buying something at a good value and holding it. And every time you think of selling it, don't sell it. Rather hold it. Don't do what I did with HEX. What I did with HEX is I sold more than half my stack for 1 cent. Today, HEX is sitting at what? 16.5, 17 cents. Okay, I could have had.
Gavin, if you don't mind, I think there's a good strategy. There's a good way you. There's a good example. There's a good story you use in showing people how to manage that FOMO, right? And I think it's with the story with your daughter, what she did with Bitcoin and HEX, probably, and why she decided to lock HEX for 5 years. You know, again, you don't just want to invest. You want to invest for a reason. Maybe you are investing your $100, $1,000 or whatever on a good project because you want to say in the next 5 years, if this becomes really great, it's gonna give me my vacation home or whatever. So probably that story can help people, can really guide people on how they should look investing and how powerful this strategy can be applied. Maybe the story of your daughter, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. Well, you know, as you all know, an average house price in South Africa for a young person who starts working has become basically unattainable. For many of them. And last year, the beginning of last year, somewhere, I gave her about $1,000 of Bitcoin. I think when Bitcoin was around $10,000 or something. And so it was 0.1 of a Bitcoin. And she, it was in a wallet of hers and she just kept it and stayed there. And I'm thinking about December last year, beginning of January, Bitcoin was around $23,000, $24,000, whatever. And I said to her, you know what? Listen to your dad now. I said, how would you like to be able to buy your own house with cash one day? She said, geez, that sounds great, Dad, but how do you think it's going to, I'm not going to do that unless you're going to help me. So I said, no, you're going to help yourself. I said, take that Bitcoin that is now worth $2,300 in your wallet and you go and sell it, we turn it into USDC, and we send that USDC to MetaMask, and we go buy some HEX, and we stake that HEX for 5 years. I said, you can't touch that money for 5 years. You cannot touch it. Because in 5 years' time, I guarantee you, you would have bought a house for basically $1,000. If you think of it, that was your original investment into cryptocurrency, which I gave her as a gift. So that's what the cost will be. So she put a $2,300 into HEX. That $2,300 now today is sitting at $77,000. Okay, we're talking 7 months later. She's basically made, what's that, 2, 3, nearly 30 times her money in a period of 7 months. Now, if HEX does go to $1, okay, I think she's got about 450,000 coins, something 440, 450,000 coins, something like that she got at that time. And this could have a story of epic proportions for her. I mean, it basically means that she got her house for nothing and it cost me nothing at the end of the day, if you think of it. That is what cryptocurrency can do. If you're patient, you buy at the right time, you keep it for a long time, this is what will happen. I mean, for example, just think about it. If I kept all my HEX now, I'd have basically 3 times what I've got than my assets in HEX at the moment. Because I would have got more interest than I have received. I would have had more coins. I would have had, and sometimes can hurt you. So remember when we give you a strategy like this, I'm telling it for a reason, because I made a mistake. Okay, even though I've made a lot of money, I've been very fortunate in that way. But the thing is, I could have made so much more if I did not take the money out when I did. I did not need to take it out. So what I want you to realize, it's like Ejak said earlier, you know, he bought 10,000 Ethereum, you know, when they were a couple of cents, and he sort of got up 3-4x, and he sold it. I mean, if you held those 10,000 Ethereum today, when you get into a good asset at the ground level, in the early days, in the first year or two of that coin, and you hold it for a long time, you're going to make massive profit.
You know, the reason why I sold, Gavin, is because of that, you know that stupid word that's everywhere. Buy the dip, set it high. Buy the dip, set it high, man. You make a little money with that. If you want to make life-changing income, I mean, a lot of money. I'm talking about wealth, real big wealth here. We're talking about buying the unknown, okay, and selling when it's known. That's the idea. So if my investment strategy was about selling when it is known, then I would have had. I would have not been moved by 3x. Like it's doubled. It's got ×3 of what I invested. You know, that was little gain. I didn't even scratch the surface of the power of what I got then. Yeah, that's it.
Yes. So what we want you guys to do, and this is not financial advice, but I'm going to give you guys just an example. If you have $1,000 or you got $100 or whatever available to you today, okay, break it up as follows. Do the following. Go to hex.com. Number one, make sure you've opened up a MetaMask wallet. On this site, it will tell you how to. You go to video instructions on hex.com. Okay, how to set up a wallet, how to install MetaMask. Follow that. It tells you. It's quick. How to buy Ethereum. It's quick. Introduction to HEX. Watch it. It's 1 minute. The secret to earning the highest ROI in HEX. It's about 3 minutes. And the power of long-term thinking, delayed gratification. Watch those videos on that page. From then, you move from there. Okay. Do your deposit into your MetaMask wallet, and then take 50% of whatever you've put in. Buy HEX. Okay. And once you've bought your HEX, on the home page here, you can buy your HEX over here. You can swap it from Ethereum, or you can do it from USDC, whatever you'd like to do, okay? You can do it on this page over here. Just remember always to leave some money for fees, because it is based on the Ethereum network. And then over here is a button called stake. Hit the stake button, and then you can go stake your money on hex.com on that page over there. All the instructions are on that page. It's going to take you 10 minutes of viewing to know how to do it. Remember, guys, you need to do this only if you want to. Now, remember what I said, you only go and stake 50%. The other 50% that you have, you go to a website called pulsechain.com. Pulsechain.com. And you'll see over here in the corner is a button now we press open DApp. And at that DApp, you will have to connect your wallet, okay, over here, which will be your MetaMask wallet, which is that little goodie over there. That little goodie over there, okay, with a little fox, because you'll download that, you'll do all that, and then you'll come to this page. And then you'll come here and you'll choose the Ethereum network, and then you send from your HEX. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how we do it quickly, okay? So let me go and now I'm going to go and do a quick little sacrifice over here. So as you can see, I've got a wallet connected. I'm going to go Ethereum, and then over here, I'm going to copy the sacrifice address, which is in here, and I'm going to go sacrifice some HEX. So I'm going to go to the HEX, and I'm going to go send some money to that contract. I'm going to paste it in there, and let's just do, it's a 10,000 HEX. Okay. You can see the network fees are nice and cheap, right? Well, that was 100,000. I don't even do 10,000. That's 10,000 HEX. So next, just to make sure, I'm going to get a nice fast fee. There we go. Save, confirm. Speed up, fast, save. It's in the queue. Let's see this go through quickly. Just take a bit of time on the Ethereum network. Still pending. There we go. You can see it sent to the contract. Send HEX. 10,000. That's the value. 1,648 that I've done there. Okay, so that is how quickly it was to do that sacrifice. So now, so remember what I said. We're going to take whatever amount of money you're going to send to your MetaMask wallet. Is that little wallet over here? Okay, you can send Ethereum. We can send, well, USDC. You know, one of these coins you can send, and then you can just do your story. Then you need to add a coin. Remember, you need to add the token HEX. You go there, you click on that, you add HEX, and then that'll happen. Then you go do your sacrifice. Then that's it. Now your address has been linked to the contract, and you can actually go search for your address. If you go look on this page over here, this is how much has been sacrificed so far in the last 4 days. And this is just the sacrifices on the Ethereum network. This is no sacrifices on the Bitcoin or anything like that. But I just want to show you how to do it. And you can see since we've been talking, another 5 million has been sacrificed in this phase. So we need you guys to get moving. You've got 11 hours to get the maximum benefit on price. And after then, you can carry on doing it, but every single day, you basically get 5% less than you would have got when your coins are finally minted back into your wallet. Now, a lot of you are going to say, geez, what happens after I've sent the money? You know, what is my guarantees? Unfortunately, this is cryptocurrency. There is no guarantees. Okay, you are sending your money to the sacrifice, and you are hoping to get these coins back. I know the person who's running this project, so I can be very, very sure you're going to be getting your coins back on this project. Okay, and this project is going to be one of the most successful in cryptocurrency. People have said that this is going to end up being better than Ethereum. It has beaten Ethereum 2.0 to the market. And the beauty about it, there's no mining here. It's also proof of stake and stuff, but you don't do any staking here. There's no staking for you to do. Yeah, you just hold your coins. Okay? You just hold your coins when it comes to this. Now, on that PulseChain sacrifice, you can see there are other tokens if you hold it. Whatever tokens you got on the ERC network, swap them to HEX or to Ether, and then do your sacrifice. These are the only tokens that can be sacrificed directly to the contract address. Don't try and sacrifice anything else, because you won't get anything for it. Your tokens will be lost. So please, when you get on these pages, just read exactly what it says. You cannot send anything without linking your wallet. So once your wallet is linked to this address over here, then you can go look on this page over here, which is pulselead.xyz. Okay, and on that page, you can actually type in, you can copy and paste your address there, and you can see all the data. You can see now the top sacrifice of this person over here has sacrificed $29 million. That's $19 million. That's 11 million. That's 7 million. That's 5, 4. And it goes all the way. You can go down and you can get the top 5. Yes.
Gavin, this is really crazy. Someone's sacrificing as much as 19 million. I mean, that tells us how much of understanding this guy's got in terms of understanding and trust in this project, guys. I mean, again, like Gavin, you said, I mean, I've studied PulseChain. And by the way, guys, this by no means is financial advice. You know, in investing, you've got to make do your due diligence and your personal research. You know, but again, you know, knowledge helps you in making guided decisions. Okay, but I mean, I've done my research on PulseChain, and you know, there is a strong the potential of it outrunning Ethereum. It's infinity. I can tell you. You know, it's smarter in terms of apart from the speed and also the price. You know, there's also staking coming to pause, so that would in a way prevent those dumping that we usually have. So I mean, we're getting into pause right now at the groundbreaking phase. I mean, for me, this is magical. This is I mean, this is great big news for those who decide to act on it. And again, I mean, I'm so excited, Gavin. I don't know. I'm so excited about what would happen about the future of pause. And again, I'm not pumping you on this. I'm just telling you how I feel, and this is for me, okay? And because I mean, I've watched this kind of projects. Okay, a couple of them become successful, and let me just say this, guys. You know, you don't need all of your investments to be successful for you to make extreme progress in life. To be very honest, you just need one or two of something to be just get it right, one or two, and that's it. So what if peradventure this could be it? You know, I mean, looking at it logically, it looks like it, okay. But again, I think this is really very, very smart and great. Over to you, Gavin.
In the chat, I'm going to be posting the 2 addresses, okay, the 2 web addresses. Please copy those and make sure that you use them, okay, that there's no confusion. I'll put them there. You'll see there hex.com, pulsechain.com. When you're on the PulseChain page, you can see in the corner over there, the open dApp. Once you click that open dApp, this is what page comes up for you. I don't know, somebody's been squiggling all over my screen over here, one of the other admins. But you can see there now, you'll see there, when you get to this page, you won't be able to do anything, nothing. You first got to connect the wallet, okay? And that'll be connected through that goodie over there, which you got in your Google Chrome. It's an extension to Google Chrome, which will connect back to you. Now you can select a network. I'm not even going to show you about Binance Chain, Binance Smart Chain, Bitcoin Cash, Cardano, Dogecoin, EOS. I want you to do it on Ethereum, okay? Because you are going to first go buy HEX. You're first going to buy HEX, and you can decide if you want to stake less HEX and sacrifice more HEX into Pulse, then you can do that. But I would at least a minimum keep at least 35% in HEX, because remember, once PulseChain launches, whatever token you have on the Ethereum network is going to be duplicated on the Pulse network. Any token you own on the Ethereum network and you own the keys to, so it cannot be sitting on an exchange. If it's in Binance, you won't get the tokens. It can only be credited to you if it's in the wallet that you own the keys to. So for example, if we look over here at your little Foxy over there, I call it the Foxy on your MetaMask extension, you see there's a word there that says Ethereum mainnet. So these coins over here are all on the Ethereum mainnet. Once Pulse launches, okay, you will see Pulse here in this menu here. Then to see your coins on Pulse, you will click over there, right? And then to see your stakes and things. Your stakes will always sit in this area over here on their stake, right? There, you'll find your stakes there, okay? So the big thing about this is I want you guys to realize the opportunity you're getting here, it's like getting into HEX back in December the 3rd when I did with PulseChain. It's not too late for HEX. HEX is going to $1, it's going to $2, it's going beyond. HEX is going to be massive, okay? But PulseChain is going to be even bigger. HEX is your savings plan, where you're going to stake, and I really can't stress it enough. It is all age. You know, the decision that you make is based on your age. If you're 50 years old, you don't want to stake as long as somebody who's 20 years old. You're 25-year-olds, you're 30-year-olds. You guys, I'm telling you now, you can stake from 1 day to 15 years. My suggestion to people, do not stake for anything less than a year. And you can enter multiple stakes. You can stake a certain amount for 1 year. You can enter another stake for 2 years. You can enter another stake for 3 years. You can make that decision. It all depends on the amount of capital that you've got available. But please remember, no amount is too small to start to actually build something, okay? And you can always add to this as you go along. But remember, while this whole sacrifice goes on, until the snapshot, you will be able to keep staking, and whatever you put into your HEX stake will be copied across onto the Pulse network from the Ethereum network. So let's all, this is an opportunity I don't want any of you to miss. And please, I don't want you, once you people get involved and you in HEX and you stake, don't sit and watch the chart all day. I can tell you that HEX has wild rides on day trading, okay? So you don't want to even try that. You want to, it sometimes moves 10, 15% up in a day and then down 20%, then up 15%. It is like that. It's just the way it operates. Okay, so if we change this to a 15-minute type chart, you'll see how crazy it's gone in the day. Boom, 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 boom. You know? So I think this is today alone, this period over here. This was over the weekend. You got people made massive profits, they sold off. Now it's ticking up again, it's moving into a new thing. But you know, I don't even look at the price. I look at the price once every week. Once you staked, your money's safe. It's protecting you from selling out at the wrong time. And remember, when your stake ends, you can restake it again if you don't need the money. If the price, you're not happy with the price, restake it further. On the hex.com website, for example, okay, if you scroll right down to the bottom of the front page, it gives you links to other to supporting websites things as well, you know, where you can look. There's actually a site over here, I think under the links there maybe, where the Hex statistics, Hex Vision, for example. I think on Hex Vision, this site actually tells you exactly when stakes are ending and things like that. So you can see when there are big amounts of money being instaked on a day, and you can maybe time yours to be on a day where there's not as many stakes. You know, it's an incredible site. This it tells you so much information. It takes a bit of time to load because there's a lot of data in it. So there we are. You know, for example, here we are. That's the total amount of hex. That's circulating hex at the moment. The rest is on staking. Then you can see the circulating hex stakes opened. Boom, boom, boom. You can on each day. You can look at how many current addresses there are. There are 309,000 people who have got a hex wallet address. And you can see every single day it grows. It's grown by 1,000. Then the total hex locked at the moment, because what's happening, a lot of people knew about PulseChain. So a lot of their stakes have ended now because those people are all sacrificing their hex for Pulse. So it'll give you all the data you want. Now you will find that link on the Hex website. So like I said, this site is incredible. I can tell you now, do yourself a favor, go through those video instructions. You can read on how it works. If anybody tells you it's a scam or whatever, you can go read over there, because a lot of people say that they thought Bitcoin was a scam. They thought Ethereum was a scam. They thought everything's a scam. Those will tell you why these things are not scam. There's a lot of FAQ that you can go through. And the same on the Pulse. The Pulse site is very basic. It just tells you what are the goals of Pulse, okay? And then it tells you how trading will take place on Pulse and all that kind of thing. So if you guys just follow those, you know, those few instructions, this is not financial advice for me, but I'm just telling you what I've done. Okay, what I've done is basically I have 50% in Hex and 50% in Pulse. So thanks very much for joining us this evening. I hope you guys make the decision to join us on this trip. And like I say, you know, it's not often you get an opportunity to get into a really good project at ground level. And yeah, all of the best.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Gavin. Yeah,
okay.
sorry, Mr.
I wanted
Eddie.
to ask a question.
Thank you very much. Yeah, before we come to questions, okay, let me just tell you a quick story, okay, cool. Now, this is an opportunity to become a whale, okay? I don't know if you follow that Twitter handle, say whale a lot. Oh, whale a lot, someone just sold 10,000 Bitcoin or whatever. Okay, now, these guys didn't buy Bitcoin when Bitcoin was $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000. Come on, man. These guys got Bitcoin when it was nothing, guys. Really, really nothing. So now I'll tell you what's going on right now, okay? I remember Gavin saying something about, just put anything you can. You know, it's not compulsory, but if you want to decide on this, please, you don't have to sell your house or sell your car or take a loan or whatever. But let me show you how powerful $1 could be. I mean, I want to tell you how powerful $1 could be. Okay, good. Today, okay, and in the next, you got 10 hours, 47 minutes, okay? Because the first 5 days of the sacrifice, for every dollar you sacrifice, okay, please take this get this.
Sorry, can you take the screen to the chat so you have that, Mr. Gavin, please?
No. I love this. I love the time. I love the timer. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. For every dollar you sacrifice right now, you get 10,000 points. 10,000 points. Now I was actually on a Telegram on PulseChain Telegram channel, and I did ask a question. I said, does that 10,000 points is it equivalent to 10,000 Pulse? And the guy over there said it's 10,000 Pulse. So let's even assume it's not, but let's assume that for every dollar you sacrifice, it's 10,000 points. Now, what if it takes, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, or even 10 years like Bitcoin for PulseChain to become $1? It means $1 became $10,000. Now that is how powerful it is. That you have, like, you're becoming a whale right now because you're hearing an information that probably
we have about, I don't think so far we have less than 50,000 people who have sacrificed into pause, which means 0.00 something percentage of the entire world right now, guys. And the sacrifice we've recorded over maybe 300 million or so. Okay, so the thing here is that you don't need enough. You don't need a lot to start. You just have to start. For those who would start, okay. And by the way, this is no financial advice. You don't need a lot to start. You just have to start, okay. And there's something that happens, you know, when you start, when you do the sacrifice, or when you stake your hex, you know, yes, you know, it just, that weight is off you. But I mean, there's something that you can look up to, you know, probably, you know, this turned out to be great, you know. So that's one thing I needed to call your attention to. Then number two, if you look at it, you've got like, because the sacrifice day is going to run for 15 days, okay? We've got 10 more days, or 14 days left, or thereabout. Yeah, about 20 days. We're the 5th day right now. Now, there's something that's happening in the first 5 days. And today is actually the 5th day of the first 5 days, okay? For every dollar, you get 10,000 points. Now, from the 6th day, it increases by 5%. The cost of getting 10,000 points increases by 5%. So that means by tomorrow, you have to spend $1 and $1.05 to get 10,000 points. By next tomorrow, you got to spend even higher to get 10,000 points. That is how it's going to continue to the end of the sacrifice phase. Now, by the way, this is not by any means to like motivate anybody to take action. If you go through history and see how most of these projects are launched, they usually put this for the believers, those who are, I mean, who doesn't necessarily have to see all of the, you know, all of the doors open before they make their first step. Okay, but now this is not even blind. I mean, we're not making no blind step here, because, for example, I mean, looking at the project, like we advise people, there's a 1-hour video of the guy who's behind this project, Richard Hart. He had an interview, very powerful video. That video already is with the team leaders. Please, team leaders, share it with your team. Before you invest, you might want to look at it carefully, all right? Just watch those things and make your independent decision. You would understand that the success of HEX is just a scratch on the surface compared to what will happen with PulseChain. You know, so again, like I said, I'm pumped, I'm excited that we are sharing this to people. Like, we're telling you guys about it. And I can't wait to see how this looks like. I mean, I'm positive, you know, I just hope everything works out like I thought. But I mean, if it happens, that means in 3 years' time, in 5 years' time, man, we're going to be having probably, how many of us here? 204 plus people, maybe celebrating now and said, hey, I listened, I just put in $50 then. Oh, I listened, I just put in $10. I just put in $100. I just put in $1,000 or whatever. And this is what my portfolio looks like today. I'm able to afford maybe this. I'm able to get this. I'm able to do this. I'm able to do that for my family. That is why Tonoit was created, to create that story for you, to create that story for your friends, you know. And listen, guys, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Okay, we got a lot of interesting, big projects that we will be picking on and, you know, sharing with the community. And we're putting up a structure. It's not going to be available to everybody. Okay, this is just the only one that's available to everybody. All right, so there's got a big restructuring coming right now in Tonoit that's going to, you know, guide and, you know, direct people on how they can smartly, okay, make use of $1 or more, okay, and get great value, okay, becoming part of our community. So thank you very much for everyone joining, and over to you, Mr. Eddie. And thank you very much, Gavin. You did an excellent job. Thank you very much.
Before you take up, I just want to say something to everybody who's on the chat. I've posted 3 links in the chat. Copy all those links. The one is hex.com. The other one is pulsechain.com. And the other one is to a YouTube video. If you'd like to see an interview that was done this morning with the founder of HEX and PulseChain, it is one of the best interviews you can ever watch. It's about 1 hour and 20 minutes long. I'm telling you guys, if you are worried about your financial future and what you're doing, just go watch him. This man is one of the most intelligent people that I've ever seen in the cryptocurrency space. I would not be following him if I did not think that. So, once again, thank you. I don't know, Edward, if there's any other further major questions.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Gavin. I know it's getting pretty late at your end, but yet you make our time to be with us. We sure appreciate you. And thank you, Mr. Joker Nanks, for adding your voice. It seems it's one thing you believe so much in. Okay, and now here is my question, and I believe it's a question in the mind of so many persons. Already, just before the meeting opened, especially for those who came late, please listen to this. I did say that whatever has been said here, don't forget, tonoit is not a financial advice, okay? But it's something that Gavin has been into and has given him some very good fortune, and he feels we should be part of this. Hence, we decided to open it up to all our members. Now, you do not need to put your fortune into this, please. You do not need to put your fortunes into this. Mr. Gavin, I have a question for you, and here is the question. If I have $400, say I want to put into this, 400. I got HEX. I know from what you've analyzed, from your analysis, and from what I've read and I've seen, I see that there is still a future for HEX. Okay, and of course now we've got PulseChain coming out to do what HEX, it has much more than what HEX have done. Now, what would rather be your advice? How should I use my $400? Okay, remember, for HEX, we've got the HEX to hold, maybe as my savings, and for a long time hold, that's 2 in 1, and then we got the PulseChain. How would you advise I use my $400, Mr. Gavin, please?
Okay, if I can take the example here, it's look, Richard Hart on the video that you guys should all go and watch. He actually comes up with an amount of stake 1/3 into HEX, 2/3 into PulseChain. That's what he says. Okay, we've used an analogy of a 50-50 split. You can go 25-75, whatever you'd like. At the end of the day, my analogy is, look, I'm staked in so much HEX, okay, that there is no way that I could get to a 66-33 type. So mine's more, I'm probably more I'm more than half in HEX, and I've probably got 30-40% that I've sacrificed into Pulse now. So that's the way I've done it. But if you starting out today, the first thing is open up a MetaMask wallet, send Ethereum to that wallet, okay? Or sell all your coins on all the exchanges, take all your money off the exchanges, right? Go put it into Ethereum. Go and put your money into HEX. Then from there, you sacrifice from 66%, you sacrifice 66 to 50% on PulseChain and stake the rest. You don't need liquid HEX, because the only thing you're going to do with liquid HEX, can I tell you, is you're going to end up selling at the wrong time. That's all you're going to do. I have a very little bit of liquid HEX, and the liquid HEX I've still got left will probably be gone in the next 6-7 hours, because I will sacrifice the rest of it. I'm just waiting to see what happens with the HEX price and things like that at the moment. But I'm looking at doing the balance of my HEX as a sacrifice. That's what I do.
Absolutely, I got that. Thank you, and thank you again. If you have any question, feel free to just put up your hand. We'll just take 1 or 2 questions, because we won't be able to keep Gavin for a long time. All right, just put up your hand or drop your question in the chat area. I will sure read out your question for Gavin to respond. All right, I got 2 hands up already. Okay, 3 hands. Okay, Chilota, please go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Mr. Gavin. Thank you for this opportunity. My question is it possible for us to go ahead and buy this on spot? Is it on Binance now? That on Binance now, can we buy HEX from Binance?
No, you can only buy on Uniswap. okay, through Uniswap from your MetaMask wallet. Forget about exchanges. Whatever you got on your exchange, go and open a MetaMask wallet for yourself. Add the app to your Google Chrome, and then send your funds from Binance to there.
All right, Mr. Gavin, sorry, so that we will not spend all our time responding to this kind of question. When you are done, okay, and we'll allow you go in another 10 to 30 minutes. I will be here to show practically how we can do all of this. All right, so thank you. So let's take other questions.
Okay, thank you.
We have Cyril. Cyril, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
All right. Good evening, everybody.
Welcome, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Gavi and Edward and everybody in the house. Some of us came in the middle of the meeting already. Is it possible to buy? Some of us have very small assets. Can we just go straight and buy PulseChain? Because if somebody uses a very small asset, it doesn't make sense dividing it between Pulse and HEX. Is it possible to just buy PulseChain straight, or must one buy the two at once? Thank you.
Look, you don't look if you don't have to buy HEX, okay? If you want to sacrifice to Pulse, please understand you're not buying Pulse tonight. You are sacrificing it on the DApp, okay? And you will get your Pulse coins if you've got a MetaMask account linked to that Pulse sacrifice. So you can do that. If you choose not to buy any HEX and stake HEX, then that's the choice you can do. As long as it is one of the coins that is mentioned on the PulseChain sacrifice, which is one of those coins. Those are the coins you can sacrifice on the Ethereum network. If you want to sacrifice directly with other coins, you can do it over here. I've just shown on the Ethereum because that's what I've done. You can sacrifice on Binance Chain, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash. If you click on those, it'll tell you exactly what to do. But you must, before you do any sacrifice, you must make sure that your MetaMask wallet is connected to the contract.
All right, thank you very much. Let's take Vivian. Vivian, please go ahead and ask your question. Or mute yourself, please.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Gavin. Good evening to everyone in the house. All right, my question is that, is there any minimum or maximum amount for this sacrifice? Is there any minimum or maximum amount for the sacrifice, please?
No, there's no minimum at all. As long as you got enough to cover the gas fee, whatever is above the gas fee. Remember, when you do your sacrifice, you always got to leave a little bit of Ethereum, okay, for gas fees. So as long as it's above that, and the gas fees are quite low at the moment, only $2-3 or something. So they're not too high. So anything above that will go to the sacrifice.
Thank you.
No minimum amount, no maximum amount.
Absolutely. Yes, Ida, please unmute and ask your question, Ida.
Hi, Gavin and Jcash. It's great to hear you again. And my question is whether it is really advisable to buy HEX first and then do.
It's my recommendation to people that are not in HEX. I'd actually tell them, you know, to get into HEX and sacrifice. You know, do a bit of both. You know, these are both unbelievable projects, and if you can the road that HEX is still going to travel, you know, I think a lot of us, you know, we worried about where Bitcoin's going in the next while. You know, Bitcoin's a dinosaur. It's the old Model T Ford. We're driving Ferraris now. You know, we want things that are going to move 10, 20 times. For Bitcoin to go to $1 million, which it probably will do, that's 30x. I think the odds of HEX getting to $2 are far better.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Hi, Jcash. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Hi, Ida. I just chatted you on Telegram. So I'll
Okay, we're taking just one more person, Mr. Benison. Let's take your question and we'll be done for today. Mr. Benison, please unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you, Gavin. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, JID. Right, please, Gavin, my question is if you sacrifice your chain, like you have, how do you track the number of tokens that we allotted to you, allocated to you?
Okay, if you, that's why I've said there's a link over there. I've passed these links on to it. It's called pulselead.xyz. Okay, once you've done your sacrifice and everything, and you've seen it gone through on your MetaMask, if you just copy, for example, you can copy your